G'day guys, welcome to this week's weekly developer update. I'm CW and joining me once again is Armeanio. How are you, mate?
Good, it's a pleasure to be here.
Always this time of the week, always something to look forward to here and jumping through all the developer updates. But we've kicked off on ErgoHack 6 at the moment, so I think we've got a record number of registrations, and it's pretty exciting running through and reading about what everyone's sort of trying to achieve and what everyone's up to. So even yourself, you're competing this hackathon. So let's have a little bit of a chat about that.
Sure, I'm kind of competing this hackathon because I'm like, technically a judge. You know, that'd be some sketchy stuff to actually compete for a prize. But you know, we've talked in the Ergo Foundation, like, hey, why don't we contribute just in terms of projects, be alongside the community, right? It's easy to look at a lot of foundations and people in the space, and you know, they kind of have their ivory towers. That they're not really boots on the ground with their community, with their developer ecosystem. And that's something that I guess in Ergo, it's one of our goals, is to not really have that hierarchy, but everybody work towards things they think is cool in a collaborative way. So I've put together kind of a little team, mostly me. I've got a couple of ideas in terms of how we can take SigUSD in its current form, potentially, make it a little bit more performant, interesting long term. And then my hope is to take our governance keys and throw them in the fire, which I've always kind of hoped to do for my own because, I hold one. So I'd like to get rid of it, right? But I guess in order to get rid of it, I need to be responsible for having it. So that's kind of my ErgoHack project that, we'll see how far we get. I have a lot of preliminary notes and kind of high level ideas, but really this weekend, I should have time to actually sit down and formalize things a little bit.
Yeah, nice. Be good to see what comes of that. And everyone who tuned into the AMA, Alex gave a little bit of a rundown on what he's working on also on the ChainCash side. So anyone who missed that, jump on there and read about that or listen to that. But also we've got a number of projects. So we've got, I'll just run through them quickly, just the names: Gmart, Cheese Enthusiast with Lithos, ChainCash, Lilium, Sigma Quantum Swap, Satya, or Satya, one I can't pronounce, and two I can't pronounce, Open Board, Ergo Tizen, a Privacy Guide, ErgoStats, Perma Ergo, Analog Ergo, and Net Notes at the moment. They're the channels that have been set up in Discord currently. There's still a number that can be registered up there, it yourself included. But yeah, looking forward to seeing everything come of this.
Yeah. It's always fun to have these Ergo hacks and just see the ideas that come out. And the reality is, most of the time, the most interesting development is not during the event itself. It's actually what happens to good ideas after.
Yeah.
Because development does take time. But, if you create a nice framework or blueprint, which is, really ErgoHack's a great place to start that process. You can bring in community, you have the potential to take a good idea to Ergopad or something like that to help drive it to market. There's a lot of potential use cases there. So I'm excited to see what the community comes up with.
Yeah, most definitely. You did mention Ergopad. Once again, they're co-sponsoring this time as well. So I dare say a number of projects will sort of jump across there. And it's just a matter of sort of not even completing a project, but having a nice proof of concept, nutting out flowcharts, having a nice schema, jumping into contracts, all kinds of things like that. So there is substance behind it, not just a screenshot of a UI or something. It's pretty cool to watch and exciting, and then further seeing further development that we've seen sort of from previous hacks of projects coming alive, which is amazing to watch sort of the ecosystem grow in that respect.
No, I have good things to say about ErgoHack. I think Marty and the crew have done nice job in terms of pushing for open source development. And it is true that a hackathon like this, to some degree, can act like a type of incubator, to where if there's a good idea, they have resources and the potential to raise funds to take that idea and take it to market. So, I think it makes a lot of sense for them to kind of co-sponsor. And I hope that we get some good ideas that end up being, converted into real world applications and, the whole community benefits.
Yep, very well said, mate. All right, well, let's jump into the developer update.
Yep.
And kicking things off, we have Grand Gambit. So unfortunately, once again, suspend 6, so a little bit of slow progress, but has the quick bets that are being tested by some of the community members, and has shared a link to them to test on the Grand Gambit's Telegram group. They will probably officially be released at grandgambit.io within the next 2 or 3 days, 1 or 2 days. And I believe I've seen an update on Twitter where they do have that currently live. So by all means, check that out. He's also helped out Ergoland with some of the stuff regarding wallets and transactions. So hopefully they'll be helpful. And then there's future developments in mind. So there's PvP. It's all they have in mind at the moment. Probably coin flip as the first game. And if it's successful, probably move on to some more complex games. And we'll see how that goes. So I think the way the quick gaming is sort of set up, it's basically you make a deposit on the platform itself, and then you've just got X amount of erg to play with. So mind yourself on there and have fun gaming responsibly.
Yeah. All right, next it looks like we have Morphic. He's been working on Sigma. Looks like he's released Sigma version 5.0.5. Released with Scala 2.13 support. He addressed review comments for the Sigma PR. Looks like 856. On the Ergo side, he migrated Ergo wallet to Scala 2.13 to be released in Ergo version 5.0.7. Next up, to migrate the app kit to Sigma version 5.0.5. To publish ScoreX and Debox with Scala.js support on Sonatype, and prepare the next Sigma PR for review.
Yeah, he seems to be running through a number of those PRs, isn't he? Sort of getting that backlog sorted out. Okay, next up we have C8E4D2A and Bitmasks update. So it's working on the breeding mutation algorithm, so for ancestor genes impact, and preparing the initial BTC NFTs. The Bitmasks test project Infernos added all 36 Genesis NFTs so people can preview them, added a collection law, and will enable Genesis mint in the coming days.
Nice. All right, on to Greenhat. Looks like the progress, he's revamped the Ergo tree serialization to be simpler, since we support all the ops and types, and no longer need logic for partially parsed trees. I added strict validation checks, header size, etc. Fixed the bug with context extension items, order preservation in JSON. Work in progress, spent some time digging through the custom WASM bind gen WASM pack to enable weak reference TC39 support on CL or CI, but luckily new version of WASM bind gen came out with their fix, so it looks like that's ready for testing. Next, to start the governance in the gold erg pool on testnet, and he's encouraging everyone interested in running their own pool to start one. Documented the steps that it took to start the pool at the following GitHub links, and the current progress towards the release is tracked on the roadmap. So if anybody's interested, hop on there, play around with spinning up a pool, and check out the roadmap.
Yep, by all means, plenty going on there. And next we have Captain Nemo and the SigmaFi update. They fixed a bug with the non-SIG USD token lending. adjusted the loan collateral ratio, taking interest into account, working on order sorting and the mempool usage, and then just a quick little update on FleetSDK, so working on the contract template, so EIP5 support.
Very nice.
Yep.
All right, looks like next we have QX with Sigmanauts. He's been working on coding new voting rules into the SigmaVote app, essentially moving to vote once a month. The app will cut off submissions a week before and close voting at the end of each month, creating a vote weekend for each month. That should be finished by the next SIGs meeting. That's exciting. I think that's a nice way to make governance simple. Ergoport bots. It looks like he smoothed over the price spike bots so that even if the Spectrum or MinSwap API die for a few minutes, it still should be able to get a price snapshot before the spike script is triggered. This will result in less false positives during the API blips. Nice.
Yeah. Actually saw one of those API error postings, and it was basically
zero.
Everything listed was down 100% or something.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. Sorry?
I said, thanks for playing. You look and everything's down 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Complete rug pull. Luivatra has been busy. So it looks like he's coming up to tax time, and he's putting together a Koinly CSV spreadsheet to get all the on-chain data, etc., into Koinly. So extracting transactions easy enough, but handling the vesting, staking, swapping on Spectrum, liquidity providing on Spectrum, etc., is a Pandora's box. So as a little unofficial ErgoHack project, he's putting together the Koinly CSV export for your Ergo wallets.
Nice.
So kicking things off is you enter all your addresses into the config file, so either all together or split into wallets. It'll then fetch all the transactions belonging to those addresses, keep track of the cost basis of vesting done on ErgoPad to ensure that proper registration when redeeming tokens. Also keep track of staking and unstaking to ensure proper registration of staking rewards. Combine split transactions. So for example, a swap on Spectrum split into 2 transactions into a trade transaction in Koinly. Fetches prices from ErgoPad API to get the price of a token at a certain point in time. So it works as long as they are on Spectrum. Also fetches the ERG price history from CoinGecko and allows for calculation of USD values, and support of the auction house to be able to show those trades as well. So an active auction will consist of more than 2 transactions in the chain, and so it won't be caught in the default setup. And he's about halfway done, so I hope to have a test version towards the end of the week. And just let him know if there's anything you have experience with in a struggle on Koinly, and we'll see if they can get it supported in that tool.
Awesome.
So, one of those unfortunate things that we have to deal with in life is these taxes. So all the little bits of tooling and things like that help everyone goes a long way.
All right, next we have Ilya from Spectrum. Looks like they're working on protocol specifications in their white paper. In terms of the Spectrum finance on Ergo, they've removed completed compounding orders from the backlog, keep LM bot in sync with contracts, and testing on the new pools is a work in progress. The backlog resilience testing is a work in progress. Creating integration testing framework for LM bot is a work in progress. Fix compounding of the last epic of the liquidity mining program. Looks like that's good to go. Looks like Spectrum Finance on Cardano is covering off-chain bots with additional tests on the back end. Ergo Analytics version 2 is a work in progress. They implemented mempool scanning for user orders. His user is going to see his orders as far as it appears in the mempool. Implemented new user history API, new load and search engines in the front end. Fee UI improvements, IDO, public contribution fixes, and the SPF execution fee is a work in progress.
Yeah, lots happening on multiple different fronts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next up we have Kushti. And then on the node and protocol side, he has bootstrapping with Nipper powers and the UTXO set snapshot working. And you can see that on the branch with a pool 1937. Extracted more bootstrapping with the UTXO set snapshot code into 1947. There's more bug fixing for invalidated transactions not removed from the meme pool. Also reviewing PRs for 5.0.7 version of the node. The code is set and just waiting for one PR from Taikatio. I'm not even going to butcher that one. And that's about it. And then on other matters, he's released the ChainCash entities model code and the paper intro. You can see that on his GitHub there. Himself and Scala are participating. Scala Hub are participating with it in the ErgoHack 6. Has also reviewed the new Dexy tests by Scala Hub and has polished the Dexy paper, and reviewing Sigma O and the is that the terahertz, I believe, possibly contracts, but still at the very beginning of that, basically.
Yeah, that looks like Sigma O, which is the options, and then terahertz, which is the basically the ability to create some sort of bootstrapping withdraw and sales contract for multiple artists.
Yep.
Which is part of terahertz.
Seeing as I followed Louis, I'll just go through this one quickly. There's just one more thing. So he's also extracted Spectrum pool data from the blockchain and wrote an SQL function to transform it into OHLCV data. So the result can be seen on the Ergopad website. So when they have more time, we'll make a separate chart website to allow for checking of the charts above the Spectrum listed tokens. So as you can see, it's this kind of standard candlestick chart there.
All right. On the MHS Sam with Rosen. It looks like, as Greenhat said, the work in progress. Spent some time digging into the custom WASM bind-gen WASM pack to enable weak reference TC 39 support on CI, but luckily new version of WASM bind-gen came out with the fix. He says that's good news for Rosen. We're going to update the WASM, but not for the public test. We're almost ready for the public test since the tests are completely done. However, there are some errors and warnings in the log, and it seems the bridge is working perfectly, and these errors are not critical and will not affect the overall bridge's functionality. We're investigating these logs and will fix any remaining issues. We've done a mild stress test with 9 concurrent transfers, and the bridge was successful in handling them by the end of the week. We'll hopefully finish our final stress tests and much more concurrent transactions. Meanwhile, a few improvements and changes are under development, but these will not be public and not necessarily in the public test. So it seems the public test can begin very soon. And it also looks like on the Minotaur side, Minotaur wallet released version 1.1.2 with some bug fixes regarding multisig. Those of you that don't know, Minotaur is kind of like a, I don't know, I'd call it a hidden gem in terms of wallets in the ecosystem. There's probably a lot more that could be done on the marketing side, but in terms of functionality, it's a pretty cool build. And the nice thing about it is it's pretty uniform across devices, which is really neat to see.
Yeah, having just that ability to spin up a multi-sig wallet, whether it's for multiple parties or just yourself, for an extra sort of layer of security, they're having like a 2FA sort of setup. It's also good to see that the number of concurrent transfers on the Rosen side have been tested and been successful as well. So that's a pretty big step.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have Mick with BlitzTCG. There's lots of fun stuff going on. The website dev is back underway, so taking on the lore page. You can see some spoilers down below. Finished the deck builder card sorting dev. And there is getting the UI completed so that folks can select custom game boards per deck within the deck builder. Designing the matchmaking database to keep track of the user levels, seasons, unlocks, etc. Also, meeting with the Nervos team for the hashing it out episode. That's not our hash it out, but he was on, I think it was a Twitter space, I believe. So I haven't checked that one out. Jump on there and listen to that one. There's 80% of the card artwork needed for the release has been completed, and planning a CNFT conference attendance again with the Cardano community. It's coming around in September of 2023.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's in Vegas.
Vegas. Are you heading into that one?
Well, if it's in Vegas, I mean, that's certainly an incentive too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll try to make it. Looks like what we got MGpai with ErgoSapiens. He's working on a tedious AVL tree serialization and deserialization, continuing to work on off-chain bots.
Yep, and that looks like it sums up the developer update for this week.
I like the comment underneath. MGpai says Kushti's in, we're all going to lose, and he says he's in the process.
Yeah, and I had a little bit of a chuckle when I was reading through that one a little bit earlier. So, yeah, good to see that little bit of banter going on as well. So there's a number of things going on. This developer update might have been a little bit quiet from, I dare say, people are heads down, bum up in their ErgoHack proposals. So it's amazing to see the amount of registrations, and even just reading through quickly the broad spectrum of what people are working on. It's pretty crazy.
No, it's wild to see a lot of interesting things on multiple fronts. Is what I always find the most interesting about ErgoHacks is, you don't, we just see a variety of projects in different spheres and kind of pushing evolution of the ecosystem in different directions, whether it's mining or just how easy it is to run infrastructure or some specific smart contract use case or DeFi use case, or just let the community step up and fill it in. So I'm excited. I got to get to work on mine, to be honest, this weekend.
Gonna pull the finger out, mate.
Yeah. I'm just juggling too much other stuff, but I'm excited. At least up here, it's relatively clear.
Yeah, just getting that out of the brain onto some paper, etc. That's the difficult part. All the best with that one, and all the best to everyone else competing. Just like to make a mention also that we do have a community fund running at the moment. So there's an Ergo raffle set up. So that's basically one way to give the community a voice and have the community vote on their favorite sort of projects outside of the official sort of judging. So it'd be good to see everyone jump on there and provide some ERG into the raffle, and be able to sort of reward the projects that you like and have a voice on that one.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in once again for this week's weekly developer update. Joe, it's been a pleasure chatting once again. Everyone, have a good one.
Have a good one. Be well.